All opinions expressed by the program participants are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Upscale Love for You. The program participants' opinions are based on the information that they consider from their own knowledge. No expressions or accuracy is related to Upscale Love for You.
Good evening and welcome. I am yours truly, Dr. Fabulous. And tonight we are going to bring back some heartfelt, some healing mechanisms, some things that is going to touch your heart and might even bring a little teardrop to your eye. But before we get all into that, I'm going to pass it on to my girlfriend, Lady T. Come on, Lady T.
Welcome, everyone. I'm so excited. We are going to talk about our roots. I'm ready for this ride coming straight from 305. And I'm going to turn it over to Special K and let's see what she has to say.
All right now. You're muted, Special K.
Sorry about that. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. This is Special K. I'm joining in tonight from the 912, Savannah, Georgia. I'm, of course, 1/4 of the Upscale Love for You crew, and we got some new things tonight that I'm very excited to share with you all. So I just look forward to a great show and hope you all do the same.
All right.
And next, we have up Dr. Feelgood.
It's the DFG in place to be the man with the golden voice, the lady's choice, and of course, smooth as a Rolls Royce. Coming to 5.71 and having fun and getting things done. If you need your wood yacht, I'm the man that's your robot. I can do my thing and make you sing, make you scream, and leave you with moist dreams. Back to you, Dr. Fad.
Oh,
Wait a
my
minute. I may
goodness.
want some of that medicine. Hold up.
Oh, I'm
Whoa.
like, man, he just giving us a dose. He just giving it all to us. Well, once again, I am yours truly, Dr. Fabulous. And the purpose of Upscale Love, we are here formulated to entertain, educate, and facilitate self help, self love, and everything you want and wish to know about love and relationships. Yes, when it comes to relationships, you got dating, you got marriage. But guess what, y'all? Even if you're divorced or a widower or whatever you are, we are here for the conversation of the unknown with very sensitive topics, things that can make you smile, make you laugh, make you cry. But guess what? The conversation is great. And so we're not going to get all technical about it. But what we are asking is that you go to YouTube, like us, share us, and most definitely subscribe. And so, once again, I thank each and every one of you for coming on. And don't let this be your last time. But Upscale Love is here for you tonight. And guess what? We got something new for you. Hope you enjoy it. And I'm going to turn it back over to the one and only Special K when she comes off mute. So I'm letting you know, Special K, come off mute and do the doggone thing. That's what it is.
Hey, well, thank you, Dr. Fabulous. I'm off mute. I'm ready. So tonight and every Thursday night for the remainder of February, I will be sharing with you a historical Black history fact for Black History Month. So Black History Month was originally known as Negro History Week before it was Black History Month. It was started in 1926. A man by the name of Carter G. Woodson. He was the scholar that was often referred to as the father of Black history, and he was the second Black American to earn a doctorate from Howard University.
Okay.
So he established Negro History Week to focus attention on Black contributions to civilization. He believed that Black people should be proud of their heritage and that all Americans should understand the largely overlooked achievements of Black Americans. So Woodson chose a week in February because of Abraham Lincoln, whose birthday was February 12th, and
Mhm.
Frederick Douglass, who was born enslaved and did not know his actual birth date, but he chose to celebrate it on February 14th.
Okay.
So basically, those two people were central to helping afford Black people the experience of freedom that they have now. So that's just a little small fact or history of how Black History Month came about. Now, on this day, February 2nd, 1990, President de Klerk of South Africa, he lifted the 30-year ban on a leading anti-apartheid group, the African National Congress, or the ANC. He also stated that the jailed ANC leader, who was Nelson Mandela, would be released. Again, that's our Black History fact for February 2nd. That took place February 2nd, 1990. So that wraps up this week's Black History Fact. Be sure to tune in next Thursday for another segment of This Week in Black History with Kay. And now we also are introducing a new trending topic of the week. So for this week's trending topic, if any of you guys are familiar with the singer Neo, so today Neo's divorce was finalized with his ex-wife Crystal Smith, and she is to receive a $1.6 million lump sum of money, as well as one of the four homes that they shared together. In addition to the 1.6 million, she will get 20,000 in moving expenses, 150,000 to purchase a new car.
Not
Neo gets to keep
150,000 for a car.
yes,
Sandy,
so
we got to get on that boat.
Girl,
um
I had my kids by the wrong man.
so the former couple, they also share joint custody of their three children, and Neo will have to pay $12,000 a month in child support. Also, in addition to taking care of their child's school expenses. For the next 3 years, his ex-wife Crystal will also receive $5,000 a month in spousal support. And then both parties agreed that neither of them will have any romantic partners around their children unless they
Oh,
become engaged or married or get permission from each other.
now,
So,
that is really something, you all. I think being a celebrity, oh my goodness, it comes with some perks, but then it also comes with some downfalls.
Yeah,
But we want to thank you for that, Special K, and we look forward to that next Thursday as well. And so
that
we're
sounds
going
like a hot topic,
that
Dr.
look,
Fabulous.
that
yes,
yeah,
yes. How to find me a celebrity man.
right. Or do you
Oh,
think she got too much or not enough?
All
well,
right, let's
No,
table it.
she didn't get enough. That man cheated, not only cheated on her, had
He,
unprotected sex with
he had a
another woman
baby.
constantly, got another woman pregnant, which she had the baby. No, no, no,
Mm-hmm.
no, 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 no. But that's karma because he was with his first um wife or fiance, whatever, that he had two kids by. He was with her when he got with the now ex-wife. So that karma, all that stuff, what goes around comes around. But you know what? That's who he was. You got to recognize that's if you're gonna play that game, she wants to play that game.
and
Well, she
it's
has
a
some expensive vagina. That's all I'm gonna say.
well,
Okay,
I
As it
guess
should be.
as it
Hmm.
should be.
As it should be.
All right. So thank you, everyone. And we're going to get into our topic at hand. And I'm going to push it off to Lady T to start it up, and we'll go from there.
okay, welcome. This is such a tragic topic. Um, so my thoughts tonight is, how do you feel? How do we heal with the tragedy of Trey Nicholas? Any thoughts?
I it just magnifies the hate that we have towards each other. We don't learn to heal. We the fact that the police officer that, you know, has a child, but and his was fiance was cheating with Trey. It's just, we just project. We don't like each other. Um, it just portrays what's already out here, but we all feel it,
So,
and puts it on the, you know, in our faces.
so
And
do
then
we
what's the
look at that, Sandy? Do we look at that as another form of black on black crime? Because the only difference was they were wearing a uniform.
Wonderful. It is black on black crime. And what's also really sad about it, there's another police officer who was white who didn't get charged. Do you understand what I'm saying? So they're quick to, you know, arrest and charge the black men, as they should, but it should have been accountable for everyone. They later let go the EMTs, but why ain't no charges been filed against the EMTs? Why is this the white officer, he's only relieved of his duties? He's still getting a paycheck. Why they investigate?
Mm.
So
And-
it's the double standards. It's still so blatantly in our face.
Hmm.
Well,
It
I
only
think
is
it's a
better
form of
content.
power. I still say, no matter what, it's a form of power. They're trying to break us down. They're trying to separate us, and they're trying to control us. I don't care, about the race or the sex. It's just they feel like they're, at the top. These are nobodies, and we're just going to tear them apart. Crabs in a barrel.
But
well,
who is
I'm gonna
trying
jump
to tear
in.
them apart? I'm sorry, but who are you referencing to? Is trying to tear the officers apart?
No, I think it's like more of an hierarchy, because one thing we as Black people have to understand, we cannot, allow us to put ourselves in that position. They're Black, yes. They're cops, yes. You have a white one, yes. That white one is going to always rise above no matter what. And we're going to always take the blame, fall short.
What's
So
not
I
saying,
think the hierarchy of it.
Okay.
I think, which I guess what I'm, correct me if I'm wrong, you're saying the lesser accountability. So they all need to be held accountable. But the white um, officer in this situation, you know, he's not receiving the same accountability,
Correct.
reaction as did blacks. So you're saying because of the race factor, no matter what is done, the white officer or the officer or person of color, of not color, is going to receive the lesser
Yes,
charge
yes,
because of, okay.
Well,
yes.
I'm going to say that that's what we have seen thus far. Now, wrong is wrong regardless of the fact, because my brother, and I guess Dr. Feelgood can attest to this too. Being in the military, they are trained that when they hit someone, or they know at the point when they have given that blow and the person is unconscious, why would you continue? So, either it was out of a form of rage. We never know what is going through an individual's mind when things happen like that. Because even as a normal civilian, when you become angry, you just, a surge of something just comes through your body. But I
Adrenaline.
know the adrenaline, you name it, it comes through your body. And when you're angry, that's the reason why I even say people don't know their anger. And I think it just got out of control because it's like, different ones, being an
Triggers.
educator, they were
Peop-
talking about it, and they was like, well, they didn't realize how angry they were getting. Oh,
Yeah,
when a person
it's
passes out.
triggers. And there's triggers. We have known triggers, and we also have unknown triggers. And we don't know the unknown triggers until it's triggered. And then you start to like get on the defensive. You could feel yourself boiling when you get, especially, but if you're in a police officer, you know, career, if you're that, you should feel yourself, I'm getting unhinged. I need to de-escalate myself.
But that's
Correct.
the thing. It was 5. I could see if it was 1 or 2, but I just can't buy into all 5 of them were that raged. And then the other
Right, that's
cop, I guess,
crazy.
who's of the other color, stood by. I guess that he didn't get charged, from my understanding, as high as the other ones did, because he didn't actually take part in the beating. But there seems like, now this part I can agree with, black, white, whatever, that's an issue within, to me, the policing as a whole department, that nobody wants to stand up and say, hey,
They're
stop,
scared.
hey, you're
They
going
are
too
scared.
far.
They are scared.
Right, but that's a
There's a video I posted.
mm,
This police officer was really manhandling and choking, going too far to detain alleged suspect. Another police officer, a woman, tried to stop him, and he turned around and choked the woman police officer.
yeah.
Oh
It's
my
all
See,
in his body
goodness.
cam.
they need to have zero tolerance for things like that, but that's not going to change, because policing, it's too much power in that. They're not going, that's look at the whole things with the NRA and the gun rights. Everybody can push and push,
The
but
Good
they're
Little
not going to
Boys
take that
Club.
away. Yeah, they're not going to take that away, because they want to have their right to bear arms, and we all know why. I mean, look, they started out with violence, they take. But my thing is, it's just sad that I just don't buy into the whole, the tempers raising and this, that, and the other. It was a personal attack. I've heard what Sandy has heard too, about, the woman being involved. I don't know, allegedly, so I don't know how factual it is, but it did seem like it was a personal attack on that man, because what did he even do for them
Right,
to
but
outrage on him like that?
you and all of us are grown, right? And I don't even know if I have a homegirl of mine, a girlfriend of mine, and she says, Sandy, I don't like so and so. You need to not like her. You know how grown, you won't tell me who not to like, and I'm
Right,
not mad. I
right,
ain't got nothing to do with that. You ain't
right.
get a
That's
bad
what I'm
with her.
saying. The other 4, no one had enough sense. Like, honestly, no one had enough sense out of these 4 other black officers to say, hey, for them to, they beat him down like a gang. And it's sad that you do that to your own color. And black on black crime, I'm glad people are being as vocal and protesting, because they need to be, because we all know, had it been 5 white officers, it's just the truth, it would have been in an uproar. In the same, and they need to keep the same energy, because that man did not deserve to die the way he did.
No, we did not.
Bottom line, I don't care who
We
it was
did not.
by, but it does make it worse, unfortunately, that your own people, the people that look just like you, did that to you
Sad.
And you and
over
you know what's
nothing.
another thing? And children are supposed to have a liking to the police officers.
Right.
But do you know, any child, when they think of officer friendly, it's no longer an officer friendly, because it's an officer fear. Because immediately, and even myself, I'm a professional woman, never riding dirty, insurance clean, driver's license clean. But when they have a road stop or a roadblock, or I get pulled over for something, immediately I start to have a form of fear, almost to a panic situation, when I know I don't have anything that they could be actually stopping me for, other than if I was speeding or something of that sort. But just to think that I'm being pulled over. It used to be a time you would reach out to an officer for help, but now you're almost at a fearful state. Do you even conversate with them? You know?
No,
And
yeah, yeah, I'm sorry, you don't,
no, no,
because
no.
the courts have ruled it is not a police responsibility to protect and serve. It is not, that is the Supreme Court, they ruled that is not a police officer's responsibility.
To protect and serve.
Exactly. Google it. That is not, that's a ruling. That is not their job.
That is a Supreme Court ruling that happened about actually a while ago. The case was that they are there to protect the state's interests and not
Okay.
of the people. So, you know, think about when George Floyd was murdered and they went around protecting property, not people. They, everybody's like, well, you burning down stuff. No, you got insurance. Shut up. I just want to talk about a couple of things about that situation. The issue was that the Black people were upset. We expect that to happen. When it doesn't happen, we like what? The issue is that, you know, being in the military, you see Douglas got his picture in uniform. You got to go by what's called rules of engagement. Because when you in Iraq, you in Afghanistan, you in West Neverwhere, everybody trying to kill you. You ain't got no friends over there.
Mhm.
And that's the mentality. Why do you think we have such an antagonistic relationship with law enforcement in our neighborhoods? Because they're not there to protect. They're there to occupy, to intimidate, and to make arrests when they need numbers.
And give speeding tickets and to get money for the county.
But that's, you know, it's always been, since the beginning of this country, an uneven application of the law. The law hasn't changed. And some laws were actually made where being Black was basically a crime.
Mm.
How many people raise show of hands, how many people heard of the Black codes?
Please share.
Okay, the Black codes laws after Reconstruction, basically limiting the movement of Black people. If you were outside, you had to have some paper showing that you worked for somebody. You couldn't just stand around. That's why they had loitering laws. A lot of times what happens is, for example, and what does that have to do with love and healing and stuff like this? This just got to give you some context.
Okay.
When marijuana first came out, or cannabis, it was legal. They demonized it to demonize Mexicans, to make it illegal. When the crack and heroin epidemic came in the 70s and 80s, they didn't look at it as people being sick or needing help. What were they doing? They were throwing up butts in jail. No, they looked at it as a character flaw. Now look at today, that this fentanyl, meth, how much are they criminalizing those people that use it? Anybody. They're not. They're treating it as an illness. There's the difference, unequal application of law. White people and Black people smoke weed at the same rate. Guess who gets arrested 3 times more? So when you heal, we got tired of things going over and over. We're told just to forgive and pray. This is what happens with some relationships. Because if the world's after you and being a Black person is dangerous in some places or detrimental to your health in some places, you go home, you frustrated. Who are you going to take it out on? You're going to
Your
take it out to people
family.
in your home. Well,
Yeah.
you might not want to, but it just manifests itself. So there's unhealed people, have unhealed women, you have unhealed children. Those unhealed children go out, get mad at somebody, punch them in the face. The other guy or gal has a gun or knife, and then who's involved? Law enforcement. So a lot of us, we are not healed. We might have a nice house, nice car, but we're still not
Does
healed
it?
because we
Yeah.
still feel when law enforcement does something to one of our people. Even if Pookie robbed 25 people, killed 80 people, if he was shot by a white cop, what we gonna say? He wrong.
They ain't had to kill Pookie. They ain't had to
Exactly.
kill Pookie like that.
Exactly. And that's from not being healed, where we gonna be riding for our worst elements regardless of whether they were right or wrong, because we know we all have a story. Every person of color, Black people I'm talking about, has a story of somebody they personally knew that got rolled up on by the cops and knew and didn't do a crime, but they got rolled up. So you don't heal from that easily. You don't heal from that, and you strike out. You get angry. We as Black people, and we're turning it in towards each other now.
Oh my gosh, you know the riots, you know how they would always everybody when they were mad, we go tear up our own shit. We go
That's definitely a
technically
dumb move.
yes and no. In the 60s, we were tearing up our own stuff. We don't own nothing. We don't own anything today, so we tearing up other people's stuff. But we gotta live there though.
and we had to live there. So
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I'm
the
saying?
big
And
thing.
that's our own neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? We're tearing up, lighting them on fire because we mad. It's like you being mad, and then you go around your house just putting holes in the walls, tearing up the stuff that you worked hard and you spend
that's
your
from
money at.
unhealedness. That's from us being not healed.
But the
This is what I'm saying.
problem is,
This is how all that stuff goes back and forth. Okay, I'm done.
the problem is we need to educate ourselves and reprogram ourselves, because I think it was like 93 or 4. I got rolled up on. I had a white Cadillac, and
Not the Cadillac.
that Cadillac, Broham,
With the
and
diamond in the back.
with the blue seats, leather blue seats. And I think I was in like Alapata area. And because I had my car, like a drug dealer car, pretty much dark tints, loud music, they pulled me over. It was a Hispanic white cop named Officer Hernandez. And when he saw that I was a Black lady, you know, it kind of shocked him. But still, he made me get out the car. He called in all these officers. They handcuffed me. I called my friend, told her to come get me. I think by the time they got to the station, she was already there. I wanted to speak to the police. They could not hold me. They were sitting there going back and forth trying to figure out how to charge me, and they couldn't. The thing is, I knew it because I had already educated myself on how to like get out the situation. The moment they took me to the back and shut the jail cell, here she come get me. They couldn't charge me. They apologized. I didn't want your apology. The problem is I was a Black female. You thought I was a dude, and you know, you wanted to try to probably do something crazy, but I got you. I tried to take it to court. Don't you know? They threw it out. They tried to sweep it, you know, under the rug. So from that point, I tried to educate my children that when they're in situations like that, how to handle themselves, and to always carry someone with them. Always keep your phone charged. Always pull over where there's somewhere that's light.
Populated
So,
too.
Huh?
Populated, where there's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
lot of
very
people.
populated. So my thing of it is with the text messaging, with the gun, with you know, marijuana, they put these things in place so we can hang ourselves. We have to educate ourselves and not do it.
Yeah.
But you know what? The hard thing is, not many people want to educate themselves.
right.
So the thing is that we may connect, and we often connect because of trauma, and then we get in these relationships, whether platonic or romantic, because our hearts connect because we went through the same trauma. But one problem, the disconnect comes when one starts to heal and the other doesn't, or they're stagnant. And so no longer that connection that we once were mad at and we connected with, whether it's from our parents, siblings, police, whatever, and then one starts to heal and become whole again, the other connection is not. So that's where we disconnect. And then the one says, oh, you think you better, you think you this. You know what I'm saying? And then when we hold on to that relationship, we tend to be stagnant and we don't know how to let go because we so loyal. We don't know how to let go. And sometimes we have to know and set boundaries so we can continue to grow and not stagnate ourselves. Because not everybody is healing at your pace.
Right. And Adrene, you had your hand up. You've taken it down now, but please join in and share. You had something you would like to say because your hand was up for a good little minute.
No, that was when he asked about if anyone knew about the related to whatever the question was that Dr. Fabulous asked. I don't remember. What are we asking in our topic? What are we just going over?
Were you saying something, Adrene? Because my sound system just went completely out. What did you just say?
No, I said, what were we exactly sharing about the topic? Like, what did we start off asking? I was looking in the chat.
Asking about how do you feel, how are you, or how can you heal from circumstances and situations that take place, like what has taken place with the young man, but not only with the young man, how do you heal from hurt to move forward, in your life, whether it's a relationship, even down to people getting fired off of their jobs. And when, they say never don't want to work at the post office because when a postal person get fired, they're coming back to get you. So how do we heal? What are some of the things that you can share in a situation? And if you want to base it on the young man's death in Tennessee, you're more than welcome to do so.
Wow, I think healing definitely takes time, but the situation in Tennessee, I think that's a little bit more difficult. And I feel like that's such a issue of healing where I don't know how, like that's something where I don't think we ever heal from it because as a country, it's such a broken piece of us. And so many of us are not dealing with what the real issue is, which is really this is just another white supremacy, systematic racism thing. And I don't really, it doesn't matter what color they are. Like he was saying something about, this goes back to slavery. Where did the police basically originate from? That was from when they were capturing slaves and the whole overseer. And so I don't think that department, it doesn't matter what color they were, they would not have done that to like a young white male. So at the end of the day, you have to realize that it's a part of cultural conditioning. And the only way to heal when you have those type of things to deal with, unfortunately, is by educating people. And some people are working hard to stop that education. People like the Santos in Florida. So the healing for the country, it's gonna take time. It's really, that's gonna take time and knowledge and lessons. And I feel like it's like having discussions and kind of making sure these stories, it can't die with George Floyd, almost that saying their name. Like I feel like that's why that's such a good slogan, because you don't heal from that until you deal with the underlying cause of it. And we know that's racism. Dealing with loss and tragedy in relationships, I think that just all depends on the type of person you are. And I feel like some people, depending on how you are able to bounce back, because everybody, whatever that loss is, you're going to experience a feeling of despair or sadness. But at the end of the day, what you have to realize is things are temporary, and it keeps moving. So I feel like it just depends on the time it will take and how you view whatever the situation is, how you can make lemonade out of lemons. And be it a relationship or a job, there's always it's never going to be the end. Something will hopefully end. I feel like people deal with loss differently depending on how much resilience they have and how much experience they have. When you experience loss when you're younger, it's harder and you take longer to get over it. But once you've lived and seen how people have overcome so many different things, even this situation, I mean, this is just an example of, I mean, the good thing is they're still protesting. There was no widespread destruction. So that's growth there. But it's almost like we got to continue. It's a whole battle of education. And it's a battle, you're fighting a battle against white supremacy that's been around for a long time.
Exactly. All right. Well, so many things. I'm not sure who put the long segment in Douglas wrote the long segment in about Omega Sci-Fi. When it all boils down to it, you can wear all the letters you want to wear, but you are who you are, because just because you wear letters, that don't make you any different or less guilty of what was done. Okay, Douglas. I don't know whether or not you can talk yet or if you're still in your meeting, but that was a whole lot to read. You're more than welcome to expound on what you were writing for us to read. And the reason why I say letters doesn't mean anything, because without a shadow of a doubt, even in the time of where people hazed in fraternities and sororities, and when they got caught, it wasn't bad until they got caught. But when they got caught hazing, it was a problem. But as long as they could get away with it, they did it. So that's just like the police officers being a part of a fraternity, and whether it was Omega, Kappa, Sigma, whomever, they're human. Okay.
You know,
So
I
my comment was how Black History Month got started at the 9th annual conclave of Omega in 1920 from a conversation and stuff. That
Okay.
my comment had nothing to do with the topic. Just that it's Black
Okay.
History
Well, you
Month.
just we trying to stick to topic tonight, Douglas, and
Just that
you missed it, but Kay gave us a little segment about Black History Month at the very beginning. But we appreciate all of your writing and all that good educational substance that you put in our chat. We will definitely go back and read it.
you know,
Okay.
I do want to address that, like going through the healing. One thing we have to do is own our feelings, and if we're mad, if we're hurt, we should own that feeling. It's not be resilient and go through the pain, it's, heaven, this is, we going, like, it's like, we gonna be in heaven. We really gonna be happy. No, I want my happiness now, and I want my peace now.
I felt you, Sandy. It almost came. It
I
almost
totally
came.
agree.
I felt it. I felt it.
You understand what I'm saying?
I understand.
on that note, really say I heard some stuff and I assumed stuff because I heard that topic from other people before. This is like, say exactly what you mean and mean exactly what you say,
Mm-hmm.
so that it could be responded to properly.
So you want me to say, or you're just saying that in general?
Just saying that in general,
Oh,
because I
okay.
heard
I
that
got you.
from other people when they talk about Christianity. They said Christianity is the only religion that you get your reward after you die and stuff. And so that's what I'm hearing again. And then one of my rebuttals would be like, who said it was going to be pleasant here on earth?
Well,
So
that's make
You know,
you think.
what? It's a choice, and we can choose. Like, I can't control you, and I can control these situations. And I posted something on my a woman who passed away, beautiful creative influencer. And she said, I have the money to go anywhere in the world I want to. She was on her deathbed at the time. I have all the money to go anywhere I want to. I have a beautiful house. I got a beautiful car. But she said, don't you ever let anyone make you feel like you're not worthy of happiness and peace because you don't have certain things. Period. Because those things really they don't make you. You are the creation of your own happiness. I can't make you love me. I can't make you like me. But how I choose to respond and react is is more powerful than anything.
Correct.
And my
Correct.
peace of mind has to trump everybody.
life on earth is all about choices. You just got to be willing to live, bear the consequences of your choices, your decisions. That's baseline, basic stuff. You know, but how do you heal from trauma?
I
Is
think
You,
the first step is
it's a
owning it.
that was what I was getting ready to say. First, you got to realize you got trauma, because
Mhm.
some people don't realize that they have anger issues. And I have to step up to the plate. And I had to go back and apologize to my daughter, because it's like she could do something and it literally makes me snap. And I say, oh, I'm not going to do XYZ. But the moment she does something,
The
it
trigger.
triggers me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you know, okay, you got to work on that. Because if
Mm-hmm.
she can trigger you like that, you got some underlying issues
You got to
that
deal
you
with.
got to handle.
Mm-hmm.
Because no one should be able to take you out of your character. And
Mm-hmm.
when it gets to that point, you know, hey, you got to self evaluate.
Mm-hmm.
that's
That
why
is so true.
I love watching Ayala Fix My Life,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
um, and how she pulls out and talking to the individual, and they can make a certain face or grunt or make a noise like and she was like, wait, what's that feeling, put a name on it, which means you have to identify what it is that's triggering you, that's triggered you.
Mm-hmm.
And on some of these I can see when the light bulb goes off on the people and
Mm-hmm.
they grasp it and they get it, and that's when the healing begins. You have to name it. You have to. But as for me, I had to learn to feel your feelings.
Okay.
What is this that's coming over me? What is this? How do I react to it? Am I reacting to it positively or negatively? Like
Why
you
is a
said,
fork in a sink making you spaz out?
yeah.
You know,
What is causing
right.
this thing that's going on with me? And once you can identify that,
Mm-hmm.
you can acknowledge it
But you know
and
what is so funny,
control it.
Douglas? Listen, people always tend to analyze others, and they swear that they can be so crystal clear with what's going on with someone else, but they can't see themselves having any fault at all. And I say this because when people can sit down and give you A through Z what's wrong with you, but then you start to retaliate and you start to give them a
They
list
can't take
of
it.
what exactly. That's when you trigger them. And I always say, you can't fix the problem if you don't know you got a problem. You
That
know,
happened to me today. This guy I've been knowing him for years. We had a conversation this morning. He proceeded to tell me I'm a narcissist. What else he told me? He told me that no one likes me. He said, what else he told me? He said, the guys that like me, they just want to fuck me. No one likes you. But mind you, he's in a very open marriage, and this whatever is justifies, but he's very unhappy. They don't sleep together, they sleep in separate rooms, and they're there for the kids. And I'm not judging they married, that's because you got yourself in that. I want you the best. But to call me in the morning to tell me, I guess, what you don't like about me, that seems like a personal issue. You don't have to. I told him, you don't have to like me. You like me is not I don't care.
well, you know what? I don't know this person whatsoever, but if he calling you and he telling me you a narcissist, so it's something about you he likes because he want to communicate with you. I always tell people, either you're gonna love me for me because you like me, or you're gonna think about me because you hate me and you really want to have some type of relationship with me. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Feelgood and let him give his input. And we're going to come on back over to Lady T after Dr. Feelgood. So, Lady T, get ready, get ready, get ready.
Hey, good evening, Dr. Feelgood again. I think we've really covered how this situation was a deep wound for us. It's like you think you heal, but then someone puts a bunch of salt in it and rubs it, and it hurts. And instead of having a stiff upper lip, you just like, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. So I do this. Hold on, let me switch mics.
While he's having a little technical difficulties, Ravon, I always mispronounce your name. Are you with us this evening, Mr. Jackson? Leanne?
I'm with
Me?
you guys. I'm spending time with my son with homework and
I
tuning in at
got
the
you.
same time.
I
But
I understand.
Leanne
Okay,
is a
so
little under the weather. I'm just listening. Thank you.